everyone, welcome back to my channel, or a very warm welcome if you are new here. I have been missing for quite some time. In fact, I've been missing since May. So apologies for that, but I wanted to come back at the end of the year to wish you a Merry Christmas and to show you what I've been knitting as Christmas gifts. So I'm hoping to make this a nice, short and sweet episode to get me back in the swing of recording podcast episodes, with the view to come back properly in January. I had actually tried to record this episode, I think it's episode 51, in October, and I had to record it twice because my camera that I'm recording on at the moment just did not play ball, and I lost the will to live a little bit, to be honest. When I was editing it, it was out of focus, all sorts of things were going wrong. So I decided to have a break from recording. I'm still a little bit unsure about what happened with my camera. I'm recording on the same camera today. I am not wholly confident that it's going to work for me, and so if you see me checking my viewfinder like this, rather than looking where I should be looking, I'm just making sure that I am in focus. If it does go out of focus a little bit, then I apologise. I'm going to stick this up no matter what. And if it does go out of focus horribly during the filming, I will have to do some work over the Christmas period to work out what's going wrong with it. I've got a Canon G7X Mark II. If anyone can offer me any advice if you see it doing funny things. Anyway, so the purpose of today is to go through some of the things, or all of the things that I've been making for other people for Christmas. So I'm just going to crack on with that. There's a huge amount of wonderful vlogmases out at this time of year, which I hope you are enjoying. I want to keep this in at about 15-20 minutes so that I don't take up too much of your precious time at this busy festive time. So I'm going to be pretty quick with this, I hope. So, Christmas plans. There are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of us for Christmas this year. We are, in terms of presents, we are having a theme of handmade or second hand. And I have decided to make Christmas presents for everyone, apart from my husband and my daughter. We're doing something separately. Oh, I should say, if you are family, can you not watch this episode? I doubt that you do watch, to be fair, but if you are watching, just don't watch this one, or wait until after Christmas, because I don't want you to have your surprises spoiled. So I'm making for 6 people: my mother and father-in-law, brother-in-law and his family. And so what I've decided to do, for most people, they are getting a pair of fingerless mitts. And I have chosen 2 patterns to use. The first that I chose, just sorting these out, I have chosen to knit for 2 of them the penny mitts, which is a pattern by PetiteKnit. How could I forget that? And I have used drops Nord for both pairs of these mitts, and here they are. So this is the dark grey mix, and this is the blue ocean mix. This one on camera looks really blue, whereas in real life it's a much sort of more tealy green colour. It's really weird how the camera changes. Anyway, so yeah, I've done one a little bit shorter than the other. It's a really straightforward, simple pattern. Let's see if I can put that focus back. It's a paid for pattern by PetiteKnit, as I said. I'm sure it calls for sport weight, which is why I chose to use drops Nord. This pair, the dark grey mix, came in at 34 grams for a pair of little shorty mitts, which I think is really good. I haven't weighed these ones, but they'll be about 40 because they're a little bit longer. Yeah. I quite fancy a pair of these myself, I have to say. So that's 2 of them. The other 3 pairs of fingerless mitts I have made, I made using the Everything November mitt pattern by Jen Yard. I have a horrible feeling I'm out of focus again. Can you tell her a little bit about this? So yeah, I used Everything November mitts pattern. I chose that because it's ribbed. I have a pair that I wear constantly throughout the cooler months, and I really like it. So I've knit 3 pairs of that pattern, again using drops yarn. I've used 2 drops Flora yarns and 1 in a drops Fabel, I'm not sure. So here is the first pair. This is knit in drops Flora. Let me put them on so you can see. I absolutely love this pair, I have to say, and I will be using this yarn to make myself a pair. So I think this is the colourway, yeah, this is the colourway Caramel. And as you can see, it's a 2 by 1 rib or 2 by 2 rib. I can't quite remember. I can't work that out. I think it's 2 by 1. 3 by 1. Anyway, it's a payful pattern, but it's a rib mitt. Really simple. I really like this yarn, Drops Flora, and yeah. The second pair, I changed the ribbing in this one because I couldn't face doing lots of mitts in 2 by 2 or 2 by 1 rib, whatever it was. So I changed this up to a 5 by 1 rib. And again, this is Drops Flora in the indigo colourway. And I rather like how the 5 by 1 rib looks in the same pattern. So I put the other one on so you can see. There's the difference. The Drops Flora, I've not used it before, I don't think. It's a really nice soft yarn. It's a wool alpaca mix. No prickle, just a really nice yarn to use. So pair number 2. And then pair number 3, I use Drops Fabel in the brown colourway. That's all what it's called. I got all these yarns from Wool Warehouse, and here they are. This is definitely a slightly more woolly wool. It's a wool nylon blend. And yeah, it's just, I mean, they're good functional yarns, good functional mitts. In terms of the finished weight of these, Caramel comes in at 37 grams, the Indigo comes in at 40, it's got a slightly longer wrist, and the Fabel comes in at 46 grams, again slightly longer mitten, that one. So 5 pairs, thumbnail, etc, etc. 5 pairs of Christmas mitts. None of these have been blocked or washed. I'm going to wash them. I'm not going to put them on blockers or anything, but I will wash them and dry them just to relax the yarn, make the stitches look a bit nicer, and then they'll be wrapped up and ready to go. So that leaves one person who hasn't got a present yet, and that's my mother-in-law. And I might, you know, we've got just over a week till Christmas. I might still make her a pair of penny mitts. I will need to decide. I could probably make a pair of penny mitts in about 3 days. So I'll have a think about that. But what I have made for her took considerably longer than 3 days. And I've made her a crocheted shawl. I've got a bit of a thing at the moment about granny triangle wraps. I'm in the middle of making myself a fingering weight one. And I was going to make my mother-in-law a fingering weight one, but realised that that was just going to take too much time. So what I did, I got some drops Flora in cream, and I've held that double with my fingering weight scraps and minis, and I have come up with, oh, this is huge. Here's its wingspan. I wonder if I can hold it. No, it's much bigger than my wingspan. I don't know how much it weighs. I will, after I finished recording, I will go and weigh it and pop it on screen now. It's just such a lovely, fun crochet. I was hugely inspired by Gayna's fingering weight granny wrap. Gayna, who is Tales from Cuckoo Land, who I'm sure you know. So she made one, I think she finished it, yeah, she did finish it this year. And that's what got me onto the granny wrap thing. So as I said, I've got one on the go for me at the moment in fingering weight, but I really thought that this will make just a really nice, warm, cosy hug for my mother-in-law over the cooler months. It's a good weight behind it, so it is like having a hug. So the pattern I used for this, it's a free pattern. It's the granny, is it just called the granny wrap or the granny triangle wrap from Anaboos house? I think the pattern is written for DK, but it's obviously adaptable according to what yarn you decide to use. And it's just really simple. I decided to pop a border, a single border of this just grey. So the very last row, I held 2 strands of a grey together rather than a cream and a grey, just to give it a little bit of definition. And yeah, so I finished this last week, I think. I could keep going on it, to be honest, but my mother-in-law is a bit shorter than me, and this wraps me up nicely, so it will definitely wrap her up very nicely. I hope she likes it. I hope they all like their presents. I have been working on those since, I don't know, the beginning of November, something like that, and apart from a few little bits and pieces, I have not worked on anything else. So it's taken me a good month to 6 weeks to make all of that. And I'll tell you what, I am really looking forward to getting back to my own knitting. I've got, oh, just to say, I am joining the yarns in this by using the magic knot method. So everyone keep your fingers crossed that the knots don't come undone. Do I have anything else to say? Just, I have made some notes. Of course I've made some notes because I'm so out of practice. Yeah, both paid for patterns for the mitts. Granny wrap is a free pattern. And I will tell you I will already have told you the weight. Right, so yeah, so that's all my Christmas gift knitting. Plans for 2024. I'm going to come back in January with a proper full-on knitting podcast. I suspect it'll be towards the end of January, so that gives me an opportunity to get some more knitting done to show you, but we'll see. But I will definitely be back. I'm not going anywhere. I've got lots of yarn set aside for projects upstairs, put away in bags. Some of the things that I'm working on that you'll see in the next episode, I hope. I'm halfway through a Tolster tee for my mum, knitting out of some sort of terracotta coloured Rowan cotton yarn. I'm taking that up with me this weekend. I'm going to see my dearest mother before Christmas, and I'm going to get her to try that on and make sure it's a good size. I've never knit her anything to wear before. She's had hats and gloves, but never a t-shirt. So yeah, we'll see if that works. I have started a sweater for my daughter, which I've got an awful lot to say about, and I will talk about that next month. Whether it's still on the needles then or not is a matter to be decided when I see her at Christmas. I have got a shawl that just needs a border put on it. I've got my granny triangle that I mentioned, and I started a ranunculus for myself out of a cotton linen yarn, and I'm really hoping to make some headway on that. So those are the things that are on my needles. I've got a lot that I want to make. I've got yarn for a hat, I've got some socks. Oh, I've got socks on the needles actually, but I have plans for other socks. I have got all the plans in the world for sweaters, vests, yeah, so lots to think about, lots to hopefully share with you next month. Oh, before I forget, what am I wearing? I am wearing the Errata sweater by Jennifer Steingass. It's knit out of Filcolana Arvetta. I don't know the colourway. This is a grey, and this is red squirrel, I think. I don't wear this very often, but I am sort of trying to make myself wear it. It's not, I don't know. I've said this before, a yoke sweater is not my preferred, style of sweater. I much prefer a raglan. I don't know, I just don't, feels a little bit uncomfortable here, but also here it's sort of in my neck a bit. But I'm wearing it because it's really pretty. Anyway, so yeah, the Errata sweater by Jennifer Steingass. Right, work. If you've not been here before, Eldenwood Craft is my business. I make project bags, and big news, if you haven't seen, I am also now dyeing yarn, which I'm so excited about. It's something I have wanted to do for years. And earlier this year I took the plunge, got all the stuff, had a practice, and 2 or 3 weeks ago I released my first batch of yarn. I'm not going to show you anything now. I'll talk more about that next month, but for those of you who came by and shopped, a huge thank you. I was so people say blown away, don't they? I really was blown away by the support that you showed for that update. The bags are not going anywhere. I imagine that the project bag side of my business will remain the focus, and the yarn will be like a side hustle type thing, all under the same umbrella, of course. But we'll see. You never know how things will go. And then the big thing for me for the next few months, I'm going to be vending at the East Anglia Yarn Festival at the beginning of March. I think it's the 8th and 9th, or is it the 9th and 10th? The Saturday and Sunday of that weekend anyway, at the Norfolk Showground just outside Norwich. This is my first big event. Took the plunge, made the decision after discussion with Mr. Eldenwood Craft last year. We decided it would be a good thing to try. He's going to be with me, helping me on the stand, and I will have a few guest appearances as well, which I'm so looking forward to this. But I've got an awful amount of work to do before East Anglia. So January and February pretty much are going to be taken up with prepping for that show. So there won't be a big shop update before East Anglia. But obviously whatever I don't sell at East Anglia will then go into the shop afterwards. But I will share with you stuff that I'm bringing, as I record my podcast. Right, 20-ish minutes in, I think. Might be a little bit longer. I can't remember if I had to stop filming or not. However, I am going to let you go. I'm going to call that one finished and see how the recording has come out. I hope the sound is all right. I'm recording in our living room because my husband's working in the room next to my studio. My studio is a bit of a mess because I've just finished work for the year and it needs a good old tidy and clean. So that's a job for this afternoon actually. Yeah, so I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to wish you a fantastically happy Christmas. If you celebrate, happy holidays, have a lovely December. Thank you so much for watching, for subscribing, for liking. All these things are so important to podcasts like this. The more likes that the episode gets, the more that YouTube will share it with other people. Comments, I'd love to have a chat with you in the comments. I would love to know, actually, let's think. I'd love to know if you've been gift knitting, and if you haven't been gift knitting, what you're working on in December. I'd love to know if you've got an advent calendar. I have got one that I shared with a very lovely friend. We did handmade advent calendars this year. I didn't buy one. So I'm really enjoying that. So yeah, so gift knitting, what are you making for yourself? Have you got an advent calendar? What have you been up to over the last 6 months? Just chat away. It'd be lovely to know what you're up to. And on that note, just to thank you again. Thank you for your support with the channel. Thank you for your support in the shop. Have a lovely December, whatever you're doing, and I will see you again in January. Bye.